Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news begins now.
Salamanca Market stallholders are worried planned rent increases by the Hobart City Council will add further pressure to their operating costs. They're now rallying together to stop the financial changes in its tracks.
It's a Saturday delight ingrained in Tasmanian history. The iconic Salamanca Market now shrouded by fear with stall rental prices set to soar.
We are finding it harder to put a brave smile on our faces to make it an enjoyable day for people to come down here, because we are genuinely concerned about how we're going to feed our families at home.
Stallholders unable to disclose just how much they'll be out of pocket, but say it's the most they've ever had to pay.
This would be one of the most significant increases since Salamanca, and certainly since I've been here.
The financial increase coming down to high staffing levels.
We're calling for a full investigation into staffing of the market, because we know that there are quite a lot of bureaucrats sitting behind desks who are on big salaries that aren't directly involved with the market.
Businesses now forced to consider bringing their own prices up just to make ends meet.
Then it becomes a very expensive market, and that has an effect that people stop buying as much.
Many contemplating closing up shop altogether.
From speaking to stallholders, I would say around a third of them are looking at whether it would be still viable to trade.
The Hobart City Council was unable to speak today, but will meet next week to discuss the rent rise and a new licence agreement. A formal vote taking place on March 20.
We want them to go back to the table and have another look at other ways that they can save money in the budget.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart's rental vacancy rates have grown slightly this month, now sitting at 1.3% according to new PropTrack data. The 0.06 percentage point surge placing us above Adelaide and Perth, where less than 1% of rental properties are available. Despite the increase, Hobart is still 31% down from levels seen in March 2020.
There's substantially fewer available rentals than there were pre-pandemic. In Hobart, there's kind of 30% fewer available rentals.
Regional Tasmania also recording a rise, with rates now sitting just below 3%. A man has been arrested following an alleged crime spree across southern Tasmania. Police accuse the 31-year-old of aggravated burglary, stealing, aggravated assault and motor vehicle stealing. Officers arrested him following a search of an address in Bridgewater early yesterday morning. He appeared at an out-of-hours sitting at the Hobart Magistrates Court today. Tasmania's nursing union has raised concerns over pressures in Launceston's emergency department. The ANMF says staff are under the impression that senior management had called a code yellow or internal emergency in response to a high volume of patients. The health department says there is no code yellow in place.
And now to hear that that code yellow, which they were told had been called, was actually not activated is extremely distressing for members, because certainly they were of the view that that was what was required to maintain the safety of patients and staff in that department at that time.
The Royal Hobart Hospital was hit with a code yellow over the Christmas and New Year period due to staffing shortages. Racing royalty has descended on Tasmania as Longford's Motorama roars back to life. The hotel at the iconic pub corner has immortalised Grand Prix winner Stan Jones with his son in town to do the honours.
A unique tribute to one of Australia's toughest racing drivers. The memory of Stan Jones taking pride of place in Longford's most famous home of motoring memorabilia.
Oh, obviously he'd be wrapped, He'd be very honoured that there was a bar named after him.
Stan stormed home in 1959 to take out the Longford Grand Prix, his 12-year-old son there to witness. Going on to win a Formula One World Championship himself, Alan Jones is on hand this weekend for Motorama, spilling the beans on Longford's racing heyday.
A few of them used to sort of put a few bob in their pocket, so if they crashed or broke down anywhere within walking distance of the pub, they could come back and have a beer.
Held for the first time at Woolmer's estate, the event's attracting car lovers, great and small.
I'm right into my cars. Hopefully she is too, but no, she seems to like it.
Organisers pulled it all together in just over a month after a similar event was controversially cancelled.
It's a big family day, there's people everywhere, and there's a lot of good attractions to see, so no, I couldn't be happier.
Record-breaking Tasmanian-built racer Baby in the spotlight, with vintage vehicles and their owners taking their time in the sun. Like this 1932 Hillman Wizard, a 12-month labour of love for owner Clive.
It's the only one that came into Australia with a single door for the ladies to get in and out.
The new Museum of Motorsport in one of Woolmer's historic cottages highlights the achievements of some of racing's biggest names. And taking pride of place, 3 ultra-rare open-wheelers.
The Jim Clark one here is probably the pick of the crop. Was a winner, yes.
Longford Motorama on track for a bumper weekend. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
More than 20 serving and veteran Defence Force members have begun an epic trek, walking the length of the Kokoda Trail in just 20 hours. The 96-kilometre route will see the group walk from Launceston to Deloraine and back, raising money for mental health support group Soldier On.
Most people walk 5 kilometres a day throughout the month of March to raise the same sort of money. We just do it in 20 hours and it's an epic, gruelling walk.
Well, it's a little bit painful. The first 10 hours are a lot of fun and we get a bit of camaraderie going, and but then it gets into a little bit more of a pain stage at the second 10 hours.
The Long Patrol team are hoping to raise $20,000. The group is currently around 19 kilometres into the journey. The sun was shining for the Hobart Horticultural Society's 3rd Dahlia Show. The homegrown cuts ranked by a panel of judges, with certificates awarded to the best blooms.
There's lots of different ones, everyone different, but all judged on whether they are bright and new and sparkling.
The show takes place in Hobart's Town Hall next week. It's a big weekend of cricket right across Tasmania, with community and school leagues holding their grand finals. The Hutchins School won the first innings in the Sartis Grand Final, while Longford took out the TCLA grade title.
Beautiful weather made for perfect conditions for a bumper weekend of cricket finals across the states. The Hutchins School squaring off against Launceston Church Grammar for Day 2 of the Sartis Grand Final Series. The home side starting strong, Colin Ratcliffe scoring 52 of the side's 196 runs in 69 overs in their first innings. Church Grammar only scoring 108 in reply. While in their second innings, Hutchins started rough with 3 early wickets, William Broom with 34 runs. In the Tasmanian Cricket League, Longford took on Beauty Point in the A-grade grand final. Beauty Point winning the toss and electing to bat. Gavin Nutting with 40 runs not out, 24 for Jacob Wright in their 8 for 139. While Longford's Craig Jarman started out the side's innings on a good note with 23 runs. At Abbotsfield Park, Claremont took on St Aidan's in the Southern Cricket Association's Women's Division 1 T20 Grand Final. St Aidan's batting first, scoring 109 runs in 20 overs, buoyed by batting from Aaliyah Browning. But it wasn't enough thanks to the hot bats of Anita Silva and Tomasa Corey. Silva's half-century helping Claremont bring home a grand final win. Mark Zeta, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. Hobart and Launceston both reached 22 today, 20 at Devonport, 21 the top for Burnie. St Helens and Friendly Beaches Estates top at 23, 21 for Ouse and Maria Island. Smithton and Low Head both reached 19. Laiwini dropped down to -1 before reaching 18. Cloud banking up about the west today before moving across the southeast this afternoon. A mostly clear afternoon for much of the north and the east. Further out, cloud drifting over parts of Tasmania, Victoria and South Australia. Some isolated thunderstorms for Queensland and north-eastern New South Wales, mostly clear elsewhere. A weak cold front and trough will cross the state tomorrow, with a large high moving south of the Bight, and troughs will remain dominant over the northeast and northwest of the mainland. West to southwesterly winds reaching up to 20 knots, changing to a southerly later in the day, swells reaching up to 3 metres for the west and south. A shower or two for Hobart tomorrow with a top of 19. Richmond partly cloudy, also 19. A possible shower for Ouse. A partly cloudy 25 for Launceston, Devonport sunny and 23. A possible late shower in Deloraine. Mostly sunny in Burnie with a top of 22, a shower or two and 18 for Strawn, Curry 19 and partly cloudy. St Helens and Swansea both partly cloudy and 21, a mostly sunny day for Whitemark. Tomorrow's UV will sit at a high 7. Showers about the northwest on Monday, mostly fine elsewhere with some morning fog in the west. Light showers on Tuesday for the north and west, fine elsewhere. And Wednesday, a few showers about the north and west, most likely in the evening. Another mainly fine day for the rest of the state. Showers for much of the east coast tomorrow. Melbourne 21, cloud clearing for Adelaide and a sunny 31 for Perth. And it's partly cloudy right across the state right now. Hobart and Launceston both 19, Devonport 18. And plenty of long weekend events taking place tomorrow, McKenna. Hopefully those skies stay clear and any rain stays away.
Fingers crossed for some sunny skies. Thanks, Vic. That's all of your news this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night.